Welcome to Dino Park Media. My name is Samuel, and today we have a special video with our guest from the Jurassic Fans podcast, and his name is Dan. Dan, why don't you go ahead and say hello?
Hey, g'day, y'all, folks.
Yes, Dan, we are excited to have you here today because today we are talking about the newest season of Camp Cretaceous, Camp Cretaceous Season 3, and a lot happened here, and from what I can tell, you seem to really enjoy this season.
I was so hyped up about it. I binge watched the whole thing in the release day.
Yeah. Oh my word. So yeah, you definitely like this season, then. That's for sure. Yep. I mean, dude, Camp Cretaceous Season 3 has definitely taken over the Jurassic World fandom in the past few days. And so today we are going to be doing a top 5 countdown of our favorite things from Camp Cretaceous. So the 5 favorite things that we have from Camp Cretaceous. So 5 best things, starting with number 5, working our way down the list. Number 5, Yasmina running for the antidote. And so, Dan, you actually presented this idea. Now, why is this such a special thing to you?
Oh, you see, it happened on episode 6, and when I reached that part up to that now, we just had this very silly moment sometimes. You see, like, a child fighting Carnotaurus and the like. But now we have a much more mature content. Like, can you imagine that, like, you're running just to get a medicine that will save your friend, and we see Yasmina suffering. She's really getting so desperate because she can't get the antidote, and there's a freaking carnivore trying to kill her.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, and not just any carnivore. I mean, it's the E750, the Scorpius Rex, the thing that is meant to be the boogeyman of this season right here. And it's running after her. It's supposed to be this hyper killer. And she even gets to the point where she has the antidote and she's running back with it, but she's getting tired. She's struggling through and she's falling down. The E750 confronts her face to face, and it's about to eat her. She even says, "Do it then," and she's ready to go because she's just confronting her fear. And then all of a sudden, boom, giant explosion. The Scorpius Rex takes off like a moth to the flame, and then Yasmina is able to go back and get the antidote to Sammy because it was an emotional moment right there. I mean, now some people have said that it was a little overdone with all the flashbacks. I actually appreciated the flashbacks because it really shows what's going on in her mind at that moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, we have the culmination of that moment when she finally finds the antidote. And actually, when she's looking for it, we see her just like a fall to the ground. She collapses, not just physically, but also emotionally. And she has had already all those flashbacks. And now she's done. She's already done, and much more likely to die, actually, than Sammy herself.
Right, yes. And then with all of that being said, we're able to see how she is able to really make it into, really make it back to Sammy. She ends up saving Sammy. It's an emotional scene because they think that she's dead for a moment, but then when she coughs, she's alive again. She's alive, and then you see that friendship really budding right there. So that was definitely a very, very cool scene. And definitely one of your favorites there. So that was number 5, but then number 4, then we're getting into what I see. I've seen this in a lot of different posts on social media as well as on YouTube, but people really enjoy the integration of the mercenaries and the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom intro into the series here with season 3. We get to even see the actual opening sequence with the guy running from Rexy, jumping onto the ladder, and then getting clamped by the Mosasaurus. It's amazing. But for you, what did you really enjoy about this scene here, Dan?
Well, you see, actually, I felt like it was missing the dialogue noises in the very beginning because they would give like the full punch of the original scene. But yeah, it was so precious to see that there is continuity. It is in the same universe. It is canon, for God's sake. And then, like, you see that the children, they get desperate when they see the guy getting eaten by Mosasaurus. So yeah, once again, emotions. That's what we're all about.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, so definitely there's deeper character emotion happening in this season, but also we get to see with the integration of the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom intro. That was a lot of fun, and it was cool to see it from a different perspective too. And the kids, like, even cheering when they saw him get away from Rexy, but then all of a sudden, bam, get chomped.
That was so depressing.
Yeah, right. And they're all of a sudden you see them just like get deflated, like, oh no. But then also, even before that happened, I was actually very excited when I saw the helicopter come in with the mercenaries, and like with the light coming down on the ship, going like, turn around, get back to the dock and stuff like that. And then the helicopter sets itself down, and then they're about to rescue the kids, but then Rexy comes out of the woods and chomps the mercenary right there. That was actually it just looked beautiful. That was super Jurassic World right there. It was quintessential Jurassic World, and I so appreciated that one moment because it just felt like I can really get along with this, because it just feels like a part of the Jurassic Park canon right there.
It was almost live action, really, when you look at Rexy, like just glistening, drying. It seems just so real.
But then also being able to see Dr. Wu involved with this as well was very, very interesting. I really appreciated that he was actually on the island, because he's making his way back in order to find his laptop. I thought that was an interesting plot point. There were some things that I didn't appreciate about when they actually got into the lab and then they're sneaking around, and there's that one macho, like, bearded bad mercenary that is, oh, I'm a big bad dude, I'm chasing down the kids. But other than that, like, I appreciate how the mercenaries were still, like, they're there for the stuff. That Eli Mills, also being name dropped by Dr. Wu, Eli Mills actually said, listen, you guys got to go and get this stuff for me. And so they're on the mission for Eli Mills, showing the Lockwood Estate's involvement as early as it was 6 months after the fall of Jurassic World. So it's very interesting to see that, put that together canon-wise.
Yeah, we have like a full connection. And like I was talking to Rupert Interrupter the other day about what Vic Hoskins were really up to. So now I actually have confirmation that that's probably what he was up to as well.
Yeah. Vic Hoskins was probably working with Eli Mills beforehand in order to get them a little extra cha-ching. But moving on though, yes. So that was number 4. Number 3 then for our top best moments of Camp Cretaceous, the Scorpius Rex suspense buildup. Now this one for me is very personal. Is personally one of my favorite aspects of the entire season, because it's quintessential Jurassic Park 1. And I was explaining this to you earlier, but in Jurassic Park, they do so much in order to build up the velociraptors as being the main antagonistic dinosaurs in the movie. Now, the T-Rex is also supposed to be an antagonistic dinosaur, a carnivore that's hunting, but the velociraptors are more of the dangerous ones. And you can tell this because in the opening scene, the velociraptor, it kills somebody in the opening scene, but you barely see it. All you see is like its eyes and its snout, you barely see this dinosaur, but so like automatically you're like, this thing's dangerous. Alan Grant just talks about how dangerous these pack hunters are and how they would slice open your belly, spilling your intestines, and then later on, Robert Muldoon talked about the velociraptors later on at the Velociraptor paddock. Finally, that these things are dangerous, but then you see the fence actually chewed apart and the hole in the fence, the velociraptors are out, and the suspense is building because they could literally be anywhere. Because of the way that they have been built up, they are dangerous. They could be anywhere. And I feel like Camp Cretaceous was able to capture that feeling again in season 3 with with E750. You just see moments of it just whisking across the screen in order to kill something, or pulling down a Brachiosaurus, right, in order to kill that during a stampede. Like, you see these moments where the E750 is dangerous, but you can't see its entire body. You don't know where it is when it's in the nighttime. You don't know if it's getting close to the campers or not. I really enjoyed that suspense buildup. What about you?
Oh, I mean, and actually on the very time with the cow being mauled by the raptors, you can see that it's shredded within seconds.
Yes.
Within seconds, the straps just lift again and there's nothing but blood. So we have something similar with the 750, as I said. But you see, a point here is that, all this hype has been built since season 1 with the names dropped on the computer and the like. And all the hype has got some of us deflated really in the end because the animal looks so derpy.
It does, it does, unfortunately.
But you see, at least it was different because when I learned that there would be another hybrid, It was called the second name would be Rex. I wasn't much hyped about it, but they got to make something that was different. It was not Indominus. It was not Indoraptor. It was like this horrendous monster. Well, and I guess a monster is supposed to be dopey in a way, because Indoraptor itself, it was the perfect creature already. It was scary. So there couldn't be another creature that was just scary again. It had to be horrendous.
Right, and then also they even explain it in one of the video logs by Dr. Wu that it's meant to be too ugly to actually show to the public. And so, that could also be, I think that trying to use it as an opportunity to rectify its hideous appearance, but it does look like some weird, messed up, toothed hillbilly dude. But anyway, but which actually even just accentuates the impressiveness of its buildup, because if they're able to build up and make you somewhat scared of the reveal of this, what looks like a super derpy dinosaur, which is, it just looks so weird. If they can build you up to being scared of that, then they did the suspense right. So even though the dinosaur itself, the hybrid itself, looks so dumb, I really do appreciate the way that they built it up, the way that they built the suspense, because there's moments of it taking down a Ceratosaurus in episode 1. There's moments of it hunting and then leaving its quills behind, and then the campers find these quills, and it's just like, oh, what is this thing gonna look like? And then you see the heat sensing vision. You get to see it hunting Gallimimus with its heat vision, and it's like, oh man, this is so cool. I can get behind this. You see its red eyes and see its black silhouette, and it's like, oh man, this thing's gonna be great. It ends up being kind of a disappointment, but the buildup was great. The buildup felt like Jurassic Park.
Building the hype for something stupid is like something that we used with some other franchises, much like Tremors. Like giant worms and animals that look real stupid, but they are so vicious, so terrifying that even though they look so derpy, it's so well built, so you are scared in the end.
Yes. So it was definitely cool to see them be able to reintroduce real fear and suspense again, even if it did have an underwhelming payoff. But the suspense is great. But moving on though, so that was number 3. Now we're getting to our top 2 here. Number 2 of our favorite things from Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. They actually got off of the island.
Oh, finally! Expecting that to happen, I don't know.
Yeah, seriously, like, come on, like, what took them so long? Season 1 not getting off the island, I get it, but season 2, like, them not seeing the boat for me until season 3 was a little bit of a stretch. Like, I just can't believe that they did not see the boat not get off, not get away. So I found that weird and everything. But then again, they kind of explained it in season 3 with like, oh, wait a minute, seems like Tiff actually might have died. Like, oh no, like because then they see all the destruction of the from the Baryonyxes reaching into the cockpit. But all that to say, they actually got off the island. I personally, and I told you this before, I would have been very turned off to the series if at the end of season 3, we're stuck here again, because if the boat would not have worked, the mercenaries didn't get them off of the island. If they had all these different things that were like conveniently put right there for them not to get off the island, and they did not get off the island by the end of season 3, that would have been very disappointing.
Yeah, and it's not contrived in the end, because at least everything's so hard. Like the boat has a hole. Like we don't know what made that hole. It might be another creature, but at least there are some difficulties in the way. It's not like so easy. Like there's a boat, so let's sail away into the horizon. No. So they don't have gas, and then they are attacked, and then they are the mercenaries. So yeah, it was well made once again. So well, at least good readers. They are done for sure.
Right. Yeah. So they finally actually got off of the island. Now there is some speculation of where they might be going, possibly Site B, but we'll keep that for a different video in the meantime. But number 1 out of our top 5 best things that we see in Camp Cretaceous season 3, Number one, we both agree, Jurassic Park nostalgia. The Jurassic Park nostalgia in this season was a lot of fun. There's the visitor center. There were different little Easter eggs kind of alluding to the novel. It was just a lot of fun. What about you, though, Dan? What was probably your favorite part when it comes to Jurassic Park nostalgia here?
Oh, it has to be when the yasmina references to the death of John Hammond. She said, legend has it that the original park owner broke his ankle here and he was eaten alive by zombies. I was caught off guard by that. I was laughing and crying to myself the whole day after that scene. So yeah, that has to be it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious because they just like throw in that little Easter egg, that little alluding to the original Jurassic Park Michael Crichton novel, because like that's actually how he died in the original novel by Michael Crichton. John Hammond actually died that way. It was so fun, but then Darius is like, no, he died of natural causes years later. Where did you hear that? And she's like, well, I read it somewhere. You know, it's like, yeah. Oh, you from the book? Did you read the Jurassic Park book? But anyway, but then also when it comes to nostalgia, I mean, they went into the visitor center, and it was just really fun to be able to look inside at the visitor center again, seeing the murals of the dinosaurs in the background. That was so cool. They go into the kitchen scene. Now, that one might have been a little forced. It was definitely fan service because, like, they even do the whole thing with the Velociraptor looking through the window, you know, like, what's going on here, you know? And then it bursts through, and then, you know, you see a ladle, like, flying through the air because of everybody running around. But it was still fun to be able to see all of that.
But you see, at least that scene was not so forced because it was not like a scene-by-scene copying. It's like a 750, it's much bulkier than the Raptors, the original ones. Then instead of just blowing the knob and trying to open the door, it just burst into the kitchen and just try to kill everyone.
Right, it's different. So I mean, they definitely took their own spin on it, but definitely trying to do the fan service illusion of like, hey, this is what we're copying, but then also the vending machine, you know, like and I saw a video from Jurassic Outpost that they think that maybe Kenji trying to like knock himself into the vending machine to get his stuff out, or like putting a quarter in and then trying to hit it in order to be able to get his stuff out could be like maybe maybe alluding to trying to get JP3. Paul Kirby and JP3 trying to get the stuff out of the vending machine. Like maybe that's alluding to that. But either way, just like the whole thing in the visitor center was a lot of fun, but it would then ultimately ends up being it crumbles down to the ground, crushing at least one of the E750 dinosaurs, one of the Scorpius Rexes. And so yeah, it was just fun to be able to see a little bit of the Jurassic Park nostalgia again.
You see, but even the crumbling itself was was something that I quite enjoyed, because you see, we know that some years later the volcano will just burn everything. So the Vista Santa at least was used, like final usage was for something useful to save the dinos.
Yeah, it was just good to be able to spend a little bit of time back in, like going back in time to 1993 for just, you know, for 20 minutes. It was fun. But and then also like the dinosaurs there too. Being able to see Blue again was also fun, you know. And later on in the episode, you see her respond to a similar stance to what Owen Grady does. Darius puts his hand out, you know, and it's very similar to what Owen Grady does. And definitely a lot of fan service in this episode.
Yeah, but at least you see once again, Blue doesn't behave like just a dog. You see, because we were afraid when we knew that Blue would be in the zoo that she would just behave like a dog and befriend the kid. But no, at least she was a bit courageous.
Yes, and it was really cool. It was just really cool to be able to see Blue back again as an animal with animalistic behavior. But with that being said, that is our top 5 best things in Camp Cretaceous Season 3. And like, honestly, I think that we created a good top 5 list here. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, sure, I loved it. I mean, especially the nostalgia, but all of the rest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the nostalgia definitely like hits me in a special spot when it came to this season. But that is what we've got for today. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Dino Park Media channel here, Mr. Dan. And before we go, do you have any last things that you want to say? Also, did you want to promote the Jurassic Fans podcast as well?
Yeah, sure, folks. So please remember, we are on Instagram, our official page on Jurassic Fans. are rather nerd because I couldn't make the word pod fit in. And you can listen to our pod on Google Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcast. It's just Jurassic Fans are rather nerd. Go for it.
Yes, absolutely. So make sure to check out Jurassic Fans Are the Nerd. We'll have a link to that podcast in our description as well below. And then also, before we go, thank you guys so much for joining us for this video today and watching it all the way through. But guys, if you enjoy our content, please make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification button to keep up to date with all of our videos that we put out each week. And then also, before we go, have a great rest of your day and know you are loved.